Hello.
Welcome. I am so excited. Hello. This is my second YouTube live. I'm gonna wait for a few minutes to let some people come on. But while people are coming on, I'm just gonna talk about my first one. My first one was with Nefertiti and one of our girls
Yes.
from Bahia. Yes. So I think some people are coming on. I just saw a little thing. But Gabby Nefertiti and I, amongst a bunch of other women, we all met in Salvador, and so it is really really nice. It was nice to have Nefertiti kind of be the first one on, and now Gabby's my second. This is awesome. Um, so anyway, let me just share with you. I just finished doing a Facebook Live. It was a quick one, just on Kobe Bryant, and I saw you did a post on him. So you personally met him.
Yeah, I spent an evening with him in Salvador. Not with him, one on one, but like in a small group. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was
Yeah, and
one of
mhm.
his tour guides.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I was talking about how his name came about, the Black Mamba, and just the meaning of Black Mamba. So it was just so interesting how everything is just so connected. And so, when he was going through his personal issues back in 2003, he decided to have come up with this name to separate his personal life from his professional life, and that's when he started
Mhm.
to use a Black Mamba. And Black Mamba came from Quentin Tarantino's movie Kill Bill, which is a movie that I loved. I watched all three. And so Black Mamba is a poisonous snake, a venomous snake,
A very venomous.
right? Very venomous. And so, and it was just interesting as I was talking about it. I was like, how when you work with shamanism and you're drinking ayahuasca,
The
what
snake.
do they talk about seeing? The snake.
Yep.
When you work with Tantra, what is the Kundalini energy? That snake. So it's like, it's crazy how I'm not sure if he worked with Tantra or shamanism or did anything about that. And doesn't appear as if he did. But how interesting that he chose a name to help him transform the trials and tribulations that he was going through to, just really transform,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so interesting that he called onto that power of the snake. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the energy of the snake for a little bit.
I should have put
This
on
is
my
just so
snake
organic.
energy
Um,
earrings. I should have put on my snake earrings because I
oh
definitely
man,
tap
yes.
into snake energy as a follower of shamanic practices. So I'm with you.
Mhm. Yes. So tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about that. And those of you who are going to be watching the replay, thank you so much. Welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to leave questions in the comments or even statements. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you could get future um, YouTube lives and videos that I'll be sharing with many different tips on sacred sexuality, shamanism. So going into the shamanism, tell us a little bit about that. How did you get started with shamanism?
um, I didn't choose the
And if you want to
shamanism
introduce
life.
yourself first,
Would you say? I'm sorry.
and if you want to introduce yourself first,
Oh
because I
yeah.
don't know if we did that.
I'm
I'm
Gabrielle.
sorry, I did it.
I'm Gabrielle. I am from Washington D.C. I reside in Washington now. I lived all around the world throughout my adult years, and in the last couple of years, I've returned home to my home base. I have a little boy named Milo. I'm a teacher.
And he's adorable,
Thank you. Let's hope he stays asleep through.
so adorable.
Let's hope he stays asleep
Yes,
through this
he will.
video that we're doing.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher in the traditional sense. I work in education and public school education, fourth and fifth graders, and I'm also a holistic healer. And a teacher in the sense that I just teach and share others the methods and ideas that have touched me, and I just share them with others so that they might heal themselves. Um, so all of that came about from my time in Brazil. I mean, I guess it was always a long time coming. I always like to say, I didn't choose the shamanic life; the shamanic life chose me. So, I
Mm-hmm.
think it all started really with meeting you and the people that you introduced me to that were into all this stuff, and it was like shamanism, shamans, ayahuasca, like nature medicine, healing. Like what? I don't know, but these women look so happy, and I wanted to hang out with you all. And I remember I asked, you got you, Hannah, Neffy, and like Jahan, maybe Jahan. I don't know if she was in the crew at this point yet. Maybe
I think she came after.
came after. But you guys were
Hmm.
talking about, and Jasmine, and you all were talking
Hmm.
about doing a mesa branca. And I was like, what's a white table? A mesa branca, what is this white table? And it was all about, speaking to ancestors and this deep stuff. And I'm like, okay, when are you doing that? I want to come.
And Tanya was there.
And
And
y'all
Claire from France. That's so
were,
funny at the Mesa Blanca. Hmm.
yes. And y'all were like, no, you can't come. Or you asked first, have you ever done any spiritual work? And I was like, spiritual work. I have a spirit and I've been to work, but I don't know what spiritual work is. And you all asked me that if I had ever done spiritual work, and I said no. Then y'all were like, you can't come to this party. And I was just like, oh, okay. But you opened up
Aw.
another opportunity for me through you were planning a mini retreat just for us, and you said you can come to that. I'm looking for a place to hold it, probably up the coast. And I said, I have the perfect place. We ended up being in some of my friends' tree houses over on the beach in the town called
Yes.
Kyogo. We had a self-love, self-marriage ceremony. We did a family constellation of one of our
Beautiful.
sisters, which is where it's a very deep healing work, to keep it very short. And I remember feeling something for the first time. I felt energy that I had never felt before. And it was the energy of this person,
Hmm.
one of this person's family members that was called.
Right.
I felt it. And, without going in too deep
Right.
into that, it awakened something within me and I wanted to explore more. And then a few weeks later, I got an invitation from another, member of our sister circle to attend an ayahuasca ceremony. And I remembered I had seen some information on the internet about ayahuasca just in passing. And I
Hmm.
looked it up and I was like, this looks pretty crazy, really intense,
Right.
really deep. But they say it's like doing years of therapy in one night. So I had been to therapy and quite enjoyed it and hadn't been in a while. So I was like, I feel like I have some things to deal with. Let me check it out. And boy,
Right.
it completely lived up to its fame in terms of how it enabled me to go within the deep depths of myself and peel back all these layers just within one night. And it was very challenging. Um,
Hmm.
but just the things that I saw that night, and then the things that led me to continue to explore, um, were really what opened up the
Hmm.
lifestyle for me. And they're really, it's like taking the red pill or the blue pill. I don't remember which one is the one that opens your eyes and takes you out of the matrix from the movie, but whatever color that pill was, I think it was the red one. It was like taking that. It's like, ringing a bell that you can't unring, or knowing something that you can't unknow. And so that has just been the guiding force in my life. And I've been on a blessed path since then. So, you know, and
Amazing.
yeah,
Yes.
trying to keep it brief, but these things, the spiritual journey is not linear, nor is it short. It's lifelong. So I could go on and on, but that's kind of a very,
That is so true.
yeah.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. So, Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I shamanic journey found me as well. Like I didn't choose it, but it's interesting. I actually found it when I was in the States. So I was living in Brazil, and it was through a friend, and it was different because in the States we didn't do any plant medicine, so it was like we a friend of a friend invited me to medicine wheel. So I went to the medicine wheel, and it was just really nice. Like the healing that came up. It was for a full moon. We burnt things that no longer served us in the fire, and we sang shamanic songs. It was just amazing. It was amazing,
And have
and
you talked about the
so
word shaman, like the what the a shaman? You've talked previously about like shamanism and what that is, right? For just folks that are following you and things like that.
you know what? I don't think so. I don't think I have, because I tend to talk more about tantra
Tantra,
and
right?
sacred
And
sexuality.
they're not separate, but just
Right.
how we kind of understand them. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is good. And it's actually nice because today we're going more into the shamanism. It just kind of happened, right? Um and so, but yeah, so I'll give a little definition of my mind of what shaman is, and you can give a definition as well for those. So for me, shamanism or shaman is like a seer, a person who can go into the different worlds and really go into, whether it's the upper world, the underworld, and connect you to what you need to do healing, and it's healings in deeper levels. And so, and not necessarily, it's not always about going into the underworld or upper world, or anything like that, but that's the traditional definition of what a shaman is, right? Like if you read something, you probably read about that, but it's basically a healer, and they'll use different tools, different plant medicines, potentially drumming, sound, um, yeah, drumming, tambor. I wanted to think of, is that tambor in English as well?
No.
um okay, it's not in English. So there's many different tools and medicines that they use to get healing, and to get you to, even almost like a rebirthing, just to kind of come to what you need, what you need to see, for what changes you need to have in your life. So it's just amazing, intense work, you know so yeah, if you want to share your definition of shamanism.
Yeah, I love that we're giving more than one definition. I mean, because it is all of those things. And I would just
Mhm,
add, it's shamanism. The word shaman comes from Siberia, um,
mhm,
and it was, the healer of the Siberian tribes, and they were like the myths. It was like half doctor, half mystic. Spiritual, holistic healing in all senses, and but really, it is the traditional use of the four or five, depending on your
mhm,
tradition, elements to heal and integrate all of the parts of the human being, and to um, do away with, fear, illusion,
mhm,
separation, and just all of the things that come with being human, and to allow, use the different elements: earth, water, um,
mhm,
fire, air, and then there's this other element that some esoteric folks like to call the ether, which is spirit.
mhm,
Using those elements to heal the person and to connect the person to their divinity and to the earth, and kind of, that's very similar to tantra, is, the body
mhm,
as a connection to the heavens and the deep earth energy, and being a conduit for that flow. And so, um, I think it's really important that we, especially as African Americans or people of color, realize that, even though the face of shamanism is often quite whitewashed, like much in the way that yoga and other things,
Mhm.
it's important to realize that shamanism is very much so our birthright. And theirs too.
Right.
In Europe, Celtic traditions, Siberian traditions, in all throughout Africa, the ancestral tribal traditions, Native American traditions, South American traditions, Aboriginals out in Australasia, every single, no matter what your culture is, there is a shamanic base
Oh yeah.
for how your ancestors, if you go far back enough, connected
Mhm.
with the divine and with the earth and did healing in between. And so
Oh yes.
shamanism, the word shaman comes from the Siberian tradition, but shamanism is kind of a global term that's been co-opted in many ways, and that's a whole nother
Mhm.
conversation. But
Right.
it's a global term to refer to the way that our ancestors um, healed and connected,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
an emphasis on the elements and on nature being the cornerstone, because nature is the most pure, clear, and easy to connect with expression of God, of the universe, of the divine, or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm. Mhm. Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah. And it's so interesting because it's I don't know why, like I always tend to just forget that it comes from Siberia. Because it's every time I think because most of my work with shamanism has always been in South America,
But
between
that's
Peru.
shamanism. That's it's just the word, the etymology,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's become the universal word. But
Hmm.
that those practices in that way, that's universal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I think and I guess we kind of started on this because we were talking about Kobe Bryant and the Black Mamba,
Yeah, the snake
the snake, right? So then we kind of got into
energy.
this. Um, and it's just so interesting because I've never seen him talk about Tantra, shamanism, anything. I think it's just a coincidence
Mhm.
if you believe there's coincidences. I don't necessarily believe in coincidences. I think everything happens as it's
Mhm.
supposed to be.
Mhm.
Um, and so it's interesting that he chose that name. And so, I think that a lot of us, whether we know it or not, we have that capacity to heal ourselves. We have that capacity to reach down and get what we need, whatever tools that we need to help us get through different situations,
Mhm. Mhm.
And so that is what he did. And he called on the power of the snake. And essentially, with a lot of our work through tantra shamanism, we're calling on that power of the snake to help us to transform, to help us to heal, to help us, and honestly, that's what my whole project is about, Pandatas Prim. It's about connecting to that energy, and not just the tantric energy, the sacred sexuality energy, but sacred sexuality it's just our vital life force energy. Everything is encompassed in that. So
Mhm.
anything that you're doing, really any type of healing work, whether people talk about it or not, we're going to be using that energy, right? Our
Right.
life force energy.
Right.
But um, yeah, so when I was in Bali, I decided I didn't decide. It just kind of came to me to do this project and to really connect a bunch of the teachers, healers, guides that I have met along my journey
Right.
to be a part of this project to offer what they have. Um, I can only offer so much. Thank you for who's just coming on. I'm seeing people coming in and out. So I'm not able to see your names. Please write something. Write a hello, your name, so I can know you're here, so I can say a proper hello to you. Um, Feel free to ask any questions. If you have any questions related to Tantra, shamanism, Prandalas flow, this is just a very organic conversation. We're talking a little bit about Kobe Bryant, who chose to use the name Black Mamba as part of his transformation to help give him strength and to just really separate his professional life from his personal life. And so, just talking about the power of the snake energy, and so while I was in Bali for a month, just really I led a retreat there. I did some private workshops, and then I did a whole lot of work on myself. A whole lot of work on myself. I did a lot of self care. I did some fasting. I did colonics, infrared saunas. I worked with a shaman there from Indonesia, and got some good healing done. Um, and that's when I gave birth to this Prandata Flow project. And it's really about transforming, helping you to empower. You're already empowered, for you to help guiding you to empower yourself so that you can receive the tools that you need. And because I work in a certain area, majority of my work is Tantra, but as well psychology and shamanism. But I wanted to call people who have specialized in certain areas that I haven't, that can give you different things, like Gabrielle. And so this is why Gabrielle is here. We're introducing the lovely, beautiful Gabrielle um, to my public, to you guys who I love and have worked with and have watched my videos. So I just wanted to introduce her. And you can always learn more about her, connect more to her. If you want to go ahead and give your Instagram page or anything you want to share, so people can kind of connect with you.
Sure. My Instagram is Gabby at GABI dot CURANDEIRA. Gabby Healer in Portuguese, but Gabby.
What is curandera? What is
Curandera
curandera?
is a healer.
What is that? For those who don't know what that is.
It just means healer. Um, yeah, it's a word
Hmm.
in Spanish and in Portuguese. Curandera is like a medicine woman, healer. So that's me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Gabby, the medicine woman healer. That
Yeah.
is nice. That is nice. Yes. So you can connect with her there and follow her and see. I'm going to actually type down here on in the
Yeah.
comments. You're not able to see it, but at Gabi dot curandera.
Eso.
Okay. So yeah. And so it's interesting because there's so many different terminology for healers, for medicine women, medicine men, shamans,
Right.
curanderas, um, people who work with energy, hands-on healers. Do you think that those are all the same things, or do you think it's different? And
I think
then
as long as
how does the work that you do fit into all of that?
I think when we talk about healers, I think anybody that is using, you know, I don't want to say proven because that's a loaded word, but well practiced methods to help a person heal themselves. I think it's all the same. There may be different methods and like pathways to the healing, but as long as the goal is to teach the person to heal themselves, I think that that's where it
Mm-hmm.
kind of all converges. Because as my good friend Lakshmi always says, if ever you hear of someone calling
Right.
themselves a healer and with claims that they can heal you, be wary because really the key is to the
Mm-hmm.
most deep and the lasting real healing is that which comes from within. When you come to me or to you or any of
Mm-hmm.
the other practitioners that we know personally, you're never going to hear anyone say, utter the words, I'm going to heal you, because that's not what we do. We
Right now.
facilitate healing, we offer spaces and experiences and tools that have worked for us. We know that they work for us, because they've worked for us, and everything is not for everybody. And so that's where I think the differences might come in.
Right.
I work with sound healing, plant medicine,
Mm-hmm.
energy healing, Reiki, um, in addition to a couple of other things, dance therapy and things like that. Those are the healing modalities that work for me. Those are the healing modalities
Mm-hmm.
that work for those that choose to work with me. It may not be for
Right.
everybody. And I always tell people that whenever I am introducing anyone new or doing something new with a person that has been working with me for a while, whatever the case may be, I always say, whatever you feel is fine. Whatever you don't feel is fine. Whatever you need to do, do it. Um, over the course of this experience, and just keep an open mind, but know that not everything is for everybody. Um, and so that's why there are so many
Right.
different names and titles that, I think people that are not in this world get a
Mm.
little confused, or kind of make fun of it, like, what's a sound healer, like, or what's a, and it's kind of like,
Mhm.
okay, don't knock it till you try it. And really, with healing,
Right.
there's something for everyone. Just as much as not everything is for everyone, there is something for everyone. Healing, it's in and of itself, is for everyone. Um, I think there are large parts of the population that are feel like this is very woo woo, and they're kind of blocked off from it, or
Right.
have a blockage there. And it's like, if you would only check it out and just give a couple of different healing modalities a try, or different healers a try, you would see that eventually you'll stumble on something that fits, you know, something that just works for you. And so,
Mhm.
um, I think I think that's where the differences come in. But overall, our end goal is the same.
Right. True, true, true. And that's exactly why I wanted to do this project where I have different people coming in, for that same exact reason, so that, the people that's part of this, the workshop, they can find and they can see different tools, and each month is going to be a different person giving a different tool, and they can find what works for them. You know, maybe the tantric meditation that I do works for some people, but it might not work for someone else. And then maybe sound healing might work for someone else, or guided meditation, you know, movement. So everybody has to find what works for them. And so and so this project it's about that. It's about hearing from different people, seeing different techniques. Your meditation or something that you can do on a daily basis for that month, and see what
Tangible
changes come
take
about.
away. Yeah.
So you normally do sound healing in general on in person. And tell us a little bit about that, because I love your voice. Let me tell you, if you ever have the opportunity to hear Gabby sing, do some sound healing work, you will be in awe. I was like, damn, if I was gay, if I was a lesbian, I would be all up after her.
Well, look, if push comes to shove, we can always be in a domestic partnership. It's fine.
Right. Oh,
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy what I do. I enjoy it when you enjoy it. And I use many different healing modalities within the sound healing. So I use voice, I use my drums to do drum journeys, where um, it's a large frame drum with a mallet, based in the Native American tradition. Um, I use singing bowls, which are large bowls. You may have seen, some are metal, like the Tibetan style. Others are uh, crystals and glass mixed together to make this big, huge, it looks like a big glass salad bowl. And they are specially tuned um, to different frequencies and notes that interact with the body and the mind and the spirit and all the
mm,
different pieces of the one wonderful holistic you. And so, and I use my voice. I sing what's called medicine music. And I think it's important for us to clarify, like, the word medicine that
mhm,
folks throw around a lot. We're referring to anything that is healing is medicine. So we talk about, snake medicine. I love esoteric folks. This medicine is so present for me right now, or
mhm,
sound medicine, or dance medicine, or snake medicine, or ayahuasca medicine, or tantra medicine. It just
right,
means healing. It just means healing. I always like
right.
to spell some of these terms as a teacher. I don't know, like, it kind of, like, whenever I'm with my students, and like, there are sometimes other teachers that don't know them as well, or like teachers
Mhm.
of like older groups, they'll come in and start talking to my kids with all these terms, and my kids are just like, what? What?
Right.
And I have to, like, different teachers that I've mentored, or like just even myself, I have to be like, oh wait. not to dumb it down, but like just let's connect. Like some of these terms that we're throwing around have been so commonplace to us that we don't think
Mhm.
twice about using them. But like
Right.
it's important to like revisit like, oh, this is what this means. And also it's good for us to revisit these terms like this is exactly what it means. This is precisely, or generally what this is, so that we are, you know, we're staying true to the verb, to the word. I'm trying to speak Portuguese and Spanish. So we're staying true to the essence of what we're talking about. Like, oh, this is
Right.
actually medicine, meaning healing. So I work
Mhm.
with, sound healing, sound medicine, um, as a means of, those I always kind of give when I give people the introduction to chakras or sound healing and how it works, I kind of tell people to imagine or remember a time when something very loud passed by a house
Mhm.
or a structure that they were sitting in. And, I ask them, what happens when a very loud vehicle passes by and they say, oh, there's a vibration in the house. And I said, exactly. And sometimes you'll see like a little bit of
Mhm.
dust on the window pane shaking, or you'll hear the window pane shaking, and the house just kind of
Yeah.
is vibrating, and things may fall off the shelf or whatever have you if it's extreme. And it's kind of like that. But what is happening with the sound healing when when I hit my bowls or use my voice or sing medicine songs that have certain frequencies or words or messages or
Mhm.
origins, or the drum journey that those drum beats that penetrate the body from top to toe. It can really shake up your house. It can really shake the dust off. It gets those chakras spinning. And for me,
Mhm.
I came to sound healing because other types, it's a type of meditation that should be made clear. Also, it's a means of quieting the mind so that the body, soul, and emotion and all that can integrate and open up and do what they need to do, and get that energy flowing, and get that healing just burst wide open. But
Mhm.
I came to it because other types of meditation, I'm just like, I can't. I'm getting now to a point where I can.
Right.
I'm getting now to a point where I can sit and do many other types of meditation, and I'm getting, better and
Mhm.
better. But sound healing is what opened the door for me. It was like the punch in the face, like I was able to meditate fully for the first time. And because I come
Mhm.
from a history of um, singers, and I've got an opera singer in my lineage. My grandmother had a beautiful voice. We had a piano in the house. I played piano. Um, was in choirs. I played piano for 10 years. Was always in musicals and stuff. I just resonated with me, pun intended.
Mhm.
Resonated.
Right.
So you know, it was like, oh my god, and that's how
Yeah.
ayahuasca was for me. I was like, whoa, I connected with it. Um, and when I discovered sound healing, and when sound healing discovered me, I just connected.
Mhm.
When it's real. Although the sound healing is
Yes.
oftentimes a lot more smooth than some of the
Yeah.
plant medicine experiences, but
Right. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what tantra did for me too. Um, I remember being back in the States. I joined a Buddhist center to go so I could learn how to meditate. And they would always talk about the monkey mind. Oh, real quick, I just wanted to say you're welcome, PB. So we had a PB who said wrote in the comments, thank you for doing this. I just wanted to say welcome
Hey,
if you're
baby.
still on. And thank you for writing. Yes, please, anyone who's on here, please share some comments, thoughts, questions, you know. And so that's one of the things Tantra did for me as well, because I would try to go to the Buddhist temple and meditate, and it was just so hard. That you said,
Uh-huh.
that was me. We just had that monkey mind, that the term that the Buddhists use, and so our mind is just constantly going and thinking,
Blah blah blah
and
blah
you're
blah blah blah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and so it wasn't until I got into tantra and started doing tantric meditations that I could actually still my mind. But it was through the active movement, dance,
Yes.
sound that would take me to that quiet state. And I think because you would just get so exhausted
Yeah.
that you just your mind just couldn't think anymore.
And
And
there's nothing
so,
like nothing better to get you into the present moment than things that involve your senses,
mhm,
you know?
exactly.
So I
And
think,
I think that's why I loved Afro Brazilian dance. You know, when we were in Salvador, I loved it because it was intense. You're dancing, and those crazy teachers had us doing all kinds of stuff,
yeah,
jumping up in the air and
yeah,
shaking.
yeah,
And I was like, I didn't know my body could do these things.
yeah.
And the rhythms of the African drums.
Well, they
So that
call them
also takes
spirits.
you.
Those drum beats are very specific.
Hmm.
Afro-Brazilian and Afro-Cuban music, like, they come from Santeria and Candomblé
Yes.
where, to
Or
call in the
voodoo.
spirit, the
Mhm,
invocation, yes, voodoo.
mhm, yeah.
We 2 Haitians on here, can't forget
Right.
voodoo, you know,
Right.
but, um, those drum beats call in ancestors, call in spirit,
Yes.
egunguns, orishas, and things like that, and so you're in there,
Yes.
Holy Ghost in all of its beautiful
Yes.
ancestral forms.
Yes, and it's so powerful. So powerful. So look, if you're listening to this and you're feeling a calling to be around and hear those African drums, man, come to Brazil. Or if you're in the DC area, go to one of Gabby's sound healing sessions.
Yes,
But if you
because
but if
we're
you're
gonna
gonna
have some really cool things here involving sound healing and dance. There's a really cool
yes,
ecstatic dance community here, and I'm looking to really open that up even more so to invite those that don't know about it as much, and especially to people of color. Like I'm all for everybody healing, black, white, purple, blue. I don't care, but I'm really like all of these things, these drum beats, these things that you're talking about. They're very visceral.
yes.
They're very deep, and I feel like things like that our folks need to get more into.
Oh yeah, for sure.
African American,
It's in our blood.
it's in the
Yeah.
blood, and I think that a lot of us
Yeah.
have like kind of forgotten about it, and it's
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So it's interesting because when I was a kid in elementary school, junior high school, in New York, they had African dance class, and that was one of the things I did when when I was in school there, and I loved it. I loved it, and it was just like I don't know, like doing the African dance, it was just like I was connecting to my roots.
right.
Like it was just the most amazing feeling ever.
Mhm.
And then we moved to Florida for high school. And so in Florida, they didn't do that. We didn't have that class. So it wasn't until as an adult when I went to Brazil, 30 something, and I found the Afro Brazilian dance classes. Like I fell in love all over again with it. I felt more connected to spirit, to nature, to my
For
roots, to my
sure.
ancestral roots. And it's so important. Like so many of us, we just kind of get lost when we're not connected to our roots. And so many
Yeah.
of us, we're trying to go on the spiritual path and we're doing all of this meditation, all the spiritual work, but we're not grounded. And so it's so important for
Yeah.
us to not forget about the lower chakras, talking about the chakras, to be grounded, to know our roots, to know our heritage, where we come from, and connect to that. That's our base. And it's like, think about it. You can't build a house on a shaky foundation.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You're right about
So
that.
yeah, and there's so many people try to, skip and just work with the higher chakras and try to become enlightened, but the foundation is not strong.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So it's
Agreed.
so important to do that. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I don't know, I might have gone off on a tangent. I feel like I was starting to talk about something else and then I went into this, but that
It's what needed
happens.
to come up. It's what needed if we are talking about it, it's because it needed to be shared. It
True. Thank you.
I don't in mind to necessarily go into, but somebody listening needed to hear whatever, the way
Right.
this conversation meandered. So I'm with it.
Right. All right. Yes. Thank you. So I was like, wait a minute. How did I get there? Because I was talking about what was I talking about? But it happens. It happens, and it's all good. And I
Yeah.
agree. It's exactly where it needed to go. And I really like this. Like, I'm enjoying this. So, usually I'm doing for those of you who are my Facebook friends. Every 7 CST, and I don't know what time it is Pacific time. I think it might be a 4 hour time difference between EST and PST. But
Oh, it's good.
I'm doing
I think
Facebook
it's
Lives.
good.
Is it 3? Oh, it might be 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm in so many different time zones. I can't keep
Yeah,
track.
your missed time zone.
Between being in Bali, Brazil, US, different things, I can't keep track. So anyway, yeah, so every Tuesday night I'm doing that. Facebook Live. I'm trying to throw in Instagram Live on Thursday evenings around the same time and YouTube Lives on Friday afternoons. Today we're doing we're doing YouTube. It's a special. So I today did the Facebook and YouTube because really wanted to have Gabby here. And so it's amazing. So, she talked about she has a son in the beginning, so she had to put him to bed. So we did it a little bit later. And so it worked out really great. I got to do two in one night. And
Hey,
just amazing. It's awesome. I love Gabby's energy.
I love
And
you
when
too.
will you be back in Brazil?
I'll be back in Brazil July 12th, 13th, around there.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna have to try to meet you in Salvador around that time,
That'll be
and then
fabulous.
so we could turn out, maybe even do a workshop together or something. We'll
That'll be
see.
great.
So
That'll be great.
yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But I'll be in the DC area in May.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'll
Wonderful.
be there in May. So those in the States, I'll be in DC in May doing a couple of workshops in Upper Marlboro, as well as Crystal City. The second weekend of May. And March, I will be in California doing a workshop in LA as well as San Diego in the February, beginning of March. So look me up, visit my website. I'm going to put that on here, www.prandaraprim.com. So, yeah, look up my website. You'll see where I'm at. When I'm in the States, in Brazil, come visit me in Brazil. Listen, February 2nd is coming up. Dia de Imanjá. That's Imanjá Day.
Mm.
Imanjá is one of the Orishas
Não me fale.
in
Ah,
Brazil.
it's my favorite
and
holiday, y'all. It's my favorite holiday. I'm gonna just get off the thing now because I just love my favorite
yes,
holiday more than
yes.
Carnival.
So let me tell you. So I'm getting ready because I'm heading down to Salvador tomorrow. So in Imanjá's honor, I got blue braces. I went to the dentist today. They put those little rubber bands in. The dentist was like, "What color do you want?" I was like, "Blue."
Azul
So
de
blue.
Iemanjá, claro.
Yes, claro. And then I got my nails done blue too, but it's a darker blue. The
Fabulous.
lighter blue didn't look good on my hands, but I got
I got
blue.
my mermaid nails.
Nice. Oh, I should do the mermaid nails next. So, everybody's doing those coffin nails. So, yeah. Um, so yeah, so I'll be in my white February 2nd, Sunday. Listen, people, if you can come on a February, come to Salvador February 2nd, well before February 2nd, so you can be there on February 2nd for her birthday, for her celebration in her honor. Imanja is one of the deities of the ocean, and she's just beautiful, and it's beautiful to see the rituals. They go out and they give her flowers and perfume, things that she loves, and they take the boat and they go out into the middle of the ocean
Yes, they
to
do.
yeah, and so it's just so amazing to see thousands, I don't know, more than thousands of people there giving these offerings to her. And you got the music, the food, the Baiano food, and the music, and they're doing cleansing with the leaves on the beach. It's just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So if you're not going to be here this year because it's last minute, come next year. Hit me up next year. What I'm thinking about doing, let me know if this sounds interesting to you. What I'm thinking about doing is actually doing a retreat around February 2nd.
That would be
That way, part of the cultural event will be going to Imanja, taking, partaking in her festivities, and then also doing the spiritual piece, the spiritual work, the meditations, and things like that.
and all the ayahuasca communities and houses have big. That's like one of the big ceremonies. Is the night before Yemanjá Day on February 1st, into the sunrise of February 2nd. They have drink ayahuasca in tribute to Yemanjá, and it's just. I used to go every year, and it was just like feeling the entire ocean in your spirit. So.
Yes. Hello, Youssef. He just joined us. You
Woo!
remember Youssef?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Did the event.
So I'm having fun with this. I'm having fun with how we could put people's
I'm just
comments
remembering
on
old
the screen.
times, all of us together.
Yes, I know what you're remembering too.
That's it. In
We
Leia's
had some
house.
fun. Yes, yes, we had
We
some
had
fun.
fun.
Yes. So, yeah, so yeah, so I just got someone actually just sent me an invitation for ayahuasca ceremony on February 1st. So yes, where's this one at? Someone sent it to me. Let me see, where's that one at? See, I'm going off on a tangent, about to go look for where this one's gonna be. Susanna sent that to me. It's gonna be in ayahuasca February 1st. Oh, with the Huni Queen. That is gonna be
Ooh,
amazing. Yeah, so with the Huni Queens are gonna be there from Acre. And
that's
I spent some time with them when I went to the when I was in Acre. I was in Acre for 3 weeks.
the tribe. It's a one of the originating tribes of ayahuasca.
Yeah. And it's gonna be at Espacio Pachamama. I don't know where that is, but in Village Yelancico. So but anyway, so yeah, there's gonna be at least there's gonna be a lot of them. Also in Brazil, if you want to make your way down to Brazil, you can come in July and see me and Gabby. Or November 20th is Black Awareness Day in Brazil. And it's just amazing in Salvador, throughout Brazil, really. This year, Erica Badu was performing in Sao Paulo as well as Rio for Black Consciousness, Black Awareness Day. This year, in November, Afropunk will be there, and I am planning an experience for that, a week
Mhm.
long with the 2 days in Afropunk. Look, Gabby, you're gonna have to come back and you just have to make sure you plan on being in Brazil February, July, and November. I mean, I guess this
July,
February
I'm
is too
always
late.
there, but as a teacher, it's like
Yeah,
we just starting the school year. In November is like it's nah.
yeah, because it's just
It's
before Christmas and things, and you got Thanksgiving. So
yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
No, I'm
Afropunk
scared.
is gonna be there for the first time in Salvador. So that's gonna be nice. So if you can make it out to that. And yeah, so Youssef, we're kind of wrapping up now. It's been almost an hour that we've been on. Can you believe that? The time flew by, but we're kind of wrapping up, and we really talked about a lot of different things.
Mhm.
Kobe Bryant, why he chose the name Mamba. I'm about to say Samba, thinking of Brazil.
Your mind
Black
is already
Mamba.
on your Day.
I know, I know. Black Mamba, the significance of the snake and its relation to Tantra and shamanism. We talked about sound healing. Um, so yeah, so Gabby's gonna be with us on Prandada's Flow in April, and she's gonna be teaching some great stuff, some amazing stuff. So if you haven't signed up, sign up. Check me out on my website, www.prandataprim.com. It's there on the screen. Um, all the information for Prandada's Flow is on there. and look forward to having you. Any
Yeah.
any closing statements?
Just thank you for having me do this. I think that the theme for 2020 for me has been get your head out your ass. and
Yes, I remember seeing your IGTV on that.
and
And I sent you a
overcome.
message. Get your head out your ass. You're like, what?
What, Renee? Um, but
Just
yeah,
out the blue.
this is one of the many good things that it's become my way to activate my talents
Mhm.
and my experience. So thank you for being an activator, an accelerator, a communicator, all those things. And I can't wait to see you all on Prendar's Flow for my month in April and for the entirety of the program.
Yes, yes, yes. So, to answer your question, Yusef, I do have some places in Sao Paulo. I will send that to you. And okay. All right. So, yeah, I was just checking that out. And we look forward to having you. So, thank you guys for joining. Have a good night. Love you. So, stay right there, Gabby.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Juice.
Beijos. Ciao, ciao.